survive when the shit hits the fan? A lot of people says they can. Um, let's see how good you really are. I know it's all set up by design. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to learn real quick. So all you that are used to phones and computers and everything like that and technology, you're going to have to unlearn what you've learned. You're going to have to definitely go back to the books. Keep you some hard copies around. Survival books. Go back to the books. Keep you some hard copies around. Survival books. Trauma, plant books, herb books, survival books. You can find them at thrift stores anywhere. Basically, you're going to learn how to survive prepper style. I want to say prepper. I mean, you can only go so far with a 72-hour backpack. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know how to store things. You got to know how to live off the land. Eat stuff that'll make a billy goat puke. And if you haven't done that yet, you're going to learn. First and foremost, when this does go down, it's not when, if it's when it's going to go down. Let's say you're at work or something like that, or at school, or you're out of town. You should have a backup plan, where to meet, where to rendezvous with other people or your family or wherever, who you're going to be, what you need to grab. Yes, you do need to have a backpack or something, a survival kit, something to help you along your way. But if you're fortified already, you really don't have nothing to worry about. You're in a rural area or a mountainous area, somewhere secluded. The only thing you'd really have to worry about is people invading from bigger cities and stuff like that, because after they exhausted their resources and robbed and mobbed and went door to door kicking people's houses in, they're going to come to the country, which is probably going to be a mistake for them. They have no idea what hell a bunch of people that live in rural areas are going to bring you. I wouldn't try it. I would advise against it, because a lot of these communities, these little small villages and towns, are going to be banded together, and they're going to sew up the place to where you can't come in. And when you do come in, and if you get to come in, they're going to vet the shit out of you like you've never been vetted before, all the way down to your political views and who you voted for. That can get you killed. Just grab your shit together. With back to the books and everything. If you don't know how to read a topographic map or read a compass, know what longitude or latitude is, you better figure it out quickly, because it's coming. If you don't know how to build a fire, I'm not just talking about lighting it with a cigarette lighter. I'm talking about getting creative with the fire, with batteries, anything you can think of that'll spark a flame. Even if you're busting flint together, flint strikers would work. They sell them at Walmart. You can buy them on Amazon. I'm talking about the ones with the handle on it, not the little bitty shit kickers that you can get. I'm talking about something that's going to last you. And you need water purification kits, military grade, something with a porcelain filter in it that you can scrub off. Let's see, we got somebody's in here. Yeah, basically, you're going to have to learn how to do all that. Filtered water is your number one, and fire. Then your food, it comes after that. So, I mean, you can use a magnifying glass. You can use a water bag, just a bag with water in it. If you had to get down to the nitty gritty. The fire is most important, but keeping your smoke down is another thing, because just like the Native Americans, too many smoke signals from white man, they know what's going on. They can come and find you. So you want to not burn a bunch of green branches and stuff like that, a bunch of leaves, because you don't want people seeing that smoke up in the air, especially them drones. Don't shit yourself, because they're going to bring out drones, and people think they're going to be slick. You have no idea how many drones our military industrial complex really has, or Department of Homeland Security for that matter, because they're going to use FLIR. FLIR sees infrared. They have them on helicopters and everything, and cops use them to find people. So they're definitely going to use Army of that. See, I got comments already. Um, yeah, your kinetic devices, you better stock up on stuff. I'm talking common rounds that you can get that they're going to be using that you're going to fall into NATO round 7.62, 739, 59, 5.56, 40 caliber, 45, 9 millimeters, stuff like that. You know the millimeters. I don't have to preach to you. Them are the commonly ones used. But if you're out and about and you're in a hidden situation, you definitely don't want to be letting that kinetic energy go too loud. Because if you do too many times, somebody's going to find you. I know I can find you. I've lived in the South for a long time. I know from deer hunting and other things, if you shoot too many times, you know the exact location where they're at. And getting that stuff is another thing. When the supplies run out, you can definitely better learn how to make your own. By that means they have presses you can buy online. They have powders you can buy online. You can make your own. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to go into detail about all that. But yeah, that's going to be most important. And you can find that shit anywhere. Literally. The tips of them. You got them on cars everywhere. The little lead weights on the cars, they can be melted down. Also, your fishing lures. The lead sinkers on that. Battery post. Anything with lead on it, you can melt down. And you got to get the casings too. There's other things. Let's see. Bartering. It's another thing. Your money's going to be worthless. You might as well wipe your ass with that paper dollar bill. But you might need that to get out of town to fill up your tanks or whatever. Well, depending on how that goes. If there's EMPs involved, then you're on foot or on horse or on a bicycle. And if you got a large family or wounded people or whatever, hurt people or sick people, you're gonna be slowed down a bit. So you might need some help. But the bartering system, that is going to be a big one. Medical supplies, tobacco, stupid shit like that people will need. They're worth a weight in gold. Bottled water. Think about all that. Because this is going to be worth something. And that's going to be hard to find. You definitely ain't going to be drinking out of a mud puddle without getting sick. Like when these people start raiding cities and then they start moving out this way to rural areas and stupid shit like that, the best thing you can do is get away. Go hide. Because if you think you're going to hold your fortress down a little bit, unless you're out in the sticks with a bunch of people, you're wrong. Because there's going to be millions of people going everywhere, desperate people. And they're probably going to be armed, coming at you. But once everything starts waning down, you got water in places that you'd never think about drinking water at. Number one, the back of your toilet tank. I'm not talking about in the bowl. I'm talking about in the tank is fresh water. Number two, your water heaters. They hold a lot of 50 gallons of water. Some of them even more. They got water. Unless you got a nice well somewhere or spring water, which I wouldn't put it past these entities to corrupt the water system because they know people are going to be desperate drinking out of creeks and whatnot, springs. It's not hard to do. The food supply will definitely be rationed at some point in time. So if you got canned foods, it's best to do it. And there's a little thing to that expiration date on the bottom of your cans. That's a gimmick. Some of it, a lot of it is, because we've never heard of that shit till early 2000s or something like that, when everybody started throwing everything away. You can live off canned food for a while. And rice, get you some rice, because rice doesn't go bad. As long as you keep it dry, you'll be all right. You're going to have to ration that out. And there's going to be a lot of crazy fucking people going around everywhere. So you're going to have to buckle up, because I actually heard this on a podcast a long time ago, coming from a prisoner that was doing a lot of time. He said they're going to let everybody out of prisons and mental institutions in our country. I think we got, what, 2 million, 2.5 million something incarcerated people in this country, including federal prisons. And a lot of these people ain't nice people. They can't wait to get out. I'm not talking about on parole. With that being said, you're not going to know who these people are because they can dress up, put some sleeves on, and dust them tattoos off, and you ain't going to know what's going on. And then it's going to be too late. And then you got a bunch of psychos tearing up your neighborhood or your home or whatever. So you better be mindful of who you let into your little circle, if you have a circle to let in, because there's going to be a lot of desperate people and a lot of psycho people out there going to do anything they can to put their sense in. Just like the movie The Purge. I'm sure everybody's seen that. That'll be a Disney compared to what's coming. I promise you that. So I'm not trying to scare a bunch of people. I'm not trying to throw a bunch of crazy rhetoric. I'm not saying I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-corruption, because people need to be fed facts, and you definitely ain't going to get it off these news outlets out here. You might scoop it off some YouTube channels or some podcasts or whatever, you know what I mean? But things are getting real really fast. People need to come to grips with reality. Get your head out of your computer, your games, your video games. That's all distractions. That was created to distract you, just like the movies that we watch. Everything is a distraction to keep you off what's really going on. And if people really paid attention to what's going on, they wouldn't be rioting in the streets right now, doing the shit that they're doing, because this is all created. It's by design. I mean, you've heard it before. I don't know if you have, but I have. I know this. The world is a stage, and there's a lot of actors in the stage. And let's see. I tried to upload this video I made before I went live, and my phone went completely sideways on me. I have this happen to me all the time. It ain't no big secret. You can check out my YouTube channel and see for yourself what I go through and other people like me go through, because we're truth tellers, and the powers that be does not like that, and they don't want that, and they definitely don't want that in their new world order system, which is here. The only thing we're missing is the chip implants yet, or whatever they got to bring to us. It's going to be something. But this is America. This is the republic. This is not a democracy. And we're going to uphold the republic. I mean, there's a lot of us in here, including myself, my family bloodline, helped create this country, helped fought for this country. I'm talking about when they got off the boat, whenever they were doing Thanksgiving. That's like the 1600s. I can go back that far. So I definitely don't want this land that everybody, including my family, fought for and helped build and keep protect, to let it go down the shitter because some people want to destroy it and make a new world order. And then, I mean, we're nothing to them. Literally nothing. We're sheep. We're like a fly on the wall. They could give a shit less about you, about anything. That's why whenever the shit hits the fan, nobody's coming to help you. So you better learn how to help yourself. Nobody's coming. I mean, have you seen the natural disasters that we've had here in the last couple of years? Nobody came for them. I mean, just think of it on a larger scale, people. Big time, big time. Yeah, it's gonna be horrific. It's biblical even. I mean, if you read the Bible, I do. Really fond of it. It's all in Revelation. It's no big secret. There's parts missing to it too. But it's coming down. It's coming down. Hope everybody's ready. I really would hate to see our countrymen and women lose a lot because we sat back and let this happen. Because that's what it's looking like. We've let it happen for too long. These people that are running everything, that are pulling the strings, they don't care about you. They just care about domination and their families and what's going on. That's why they got bunkers all over the place. It's no big secret. I mean, there's bunkers all over the place, and they're ready to rock and roll. They're gonna let us fight it out, and then whenever we're done fighting it out, they're gonna come out. That's how that's going to be. And then you're going to have a repeat of some sort. I don't know. I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from this one. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Rex 84. Is back in the Reagan administration and Bush Senior. I think they were putting it together before all that. That is where basically I'm sure people's heard of these like concentration camps, FEMA camps. Glenn Beck did a piece on it back in anywhere, I think it was 2005, 2007, talking about these FEMA camps from the Department of Homeland Security. Well, it's no big secret. They're all over the place. I heard about this in the 90s before the internet even came out. I've seen pictures of it. People knew about it. People I knew about it. Older people than me. It's all these people want to jump in. All right. This is the first time I went live because I've never really messed with TikTok. I just mess with Facebook, and I quit messing with that. That's a CIA thing. Basically YouTube and some other places. But like I said, this video has been taken down. I did earlier. I was fuming over that one because they don't want this kind of information. Now back to the FEMA camps. Here I go drawing out again. Basically, in Nazi Germany, they had the concentration camps. They built those. They had some of these facilities already there. They just added gas chambers and stuff like that too. Now, if you do your research on this, it's a lot of this information is hidden. You might be able to see it in clips of something, just like Jesse Ventura had a program on True TV. I think it was called Conspiracy Theories. They took that off the air as well. You can buy it, I think, on some kind of like Apple TV or something like that. But he goes into talking about this stuff too, and they didn't want that out. But there is places that they've gutted, like empty train stations, bus depots, stuff like that, all over the United States. And you can look this up. They're all empty. They can hold thousands of people. A lot of them have piping. It looks like gas chamber stuff. And if you know what you're looking for, and they got train tracks right next to the place to unload everybody and this and that. And this has been going on since the 90s, and it's been hush-hush. And then when Glenn Beck did his piece, they freaked out about it, and they wouldn't let him broadcast it all on Fox News, and he had to shut it down. You can find the piece. I'll try to find it somewhere and post it on here. But it went into that. But that's a basic number thing. They'll try to re-educate us. They'll try to push the agenda on us, and if we're uneducatable, guess what you get? Yeah. Sorry. But that's not a fantasy. That's real. You can look that up. Also, that another thing, it's going to drive everybody nuts. I'm sure everybody's heard about the black casket liners down there in Madison, Georgia at one time. They were all over the place. I Google Earth that when it was going down before they moved all that shit out of the way. When Jesse Ventura, actually, that was on his thing too. I forgot about that. They were busting that out of there when they seen them cameras show up. It was some soybean field out in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. And they had like hundreds of thousands of these black casket liners. The company that made them was Vantage, I want to say it was. It started with a Vantage or Vintage. You can look this up as well. There's a few guys that went in there. I know Alex Jones went in there and checked it out. And this older gentleman made a video about it years ago, back in like the mid 2000s. And it showed like you could stick a whole family in one of those things. They're pretty good size. And then it was the CDC ordered all these things. So I don't know if that was for the virus that we just had a couple years ago, or there's something else coming with it. So you never know. All this stuff doesn't add up to make it right, I guess you could say. It makes sense. It's not conspiracy. It is not conjecture. It's real. But let's see. There's a lot of people on here. Holy crap. Hold on a second. Not now. I hope y'all are absorbing this information. At least take some notes or take some of it in, because this is the real deal. I'm trying to think of what I haven't touched on yet on this. basically, to survive what you need when the shit hits the fan, you gotta have your act together and you gotta have a little bit of common sense, because your life's on the line and you might have other people's lives on the line, and people are gonna be looking up to you. And if you're strong enough, you're gonna have to deal with it. You can't just give up, because when you go into survival mode, you're not gonna be able to give it up. And you better know how to hide really good. Don't be walking around in the daytime, because you're gonna be an easy target. Crunch around making noise. If you're gonna do anything, sleep during the day, move at night. Stay hidden. Keep your fires down. Don't be burning a bunch of green shit, making smoke signals for the world to see. Native Americans did the same shit. They would see white man coming because they were puffing big clouds of smoke, and bang, gotcha. Um, yeah, when you're out in the sticks, you're gonna have to be cool. It's gonna be a bad deal. And then you got to watch out for people that's gonna be wanting to join your group or whatever. Or, hey, I've got kids. We need food. Blah 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 blah. Or somebody's injured. Blah blah blah. You don't know if that's real or what. And then you let them in, and then next thing you know, you may not wake up the next night, and then all your shit's gone. You got robbed, because people are gonna be desperate. So your heart and your feelings for humanity is going to change a little bit. You might have to turn a little bit cold, not completely cold, but if it's survival and it's you against everybody else, then that's what it's going to be, because they're going to try to take your shit from you and your family or your friends. If you're going to do anything, I would start a small, I don't want to say militia, but we already have them all over the country. You probably want to go with something smaller than that, especially people that you trust and absolutely trust that's going to do that. Because you need people with skills. You definitely need people with a lot of skills. You don't want people with computer skills, shit like that. You want somebody that knows something in the medical field, or a first responder, somebody's trained in first aid, which myself I am. I'm a first responder. I'm trained. I got my card and everything like that, so I know how to deal with all that shit. Definitely want tools. Talking about, I'm not talking about drills and shit like that. I'm talking about bolt cutters, wrenches, stuff to take things apart with, Allen wrenches, those small tool bags, something like that. If you got an oxyacetylene torch or a welder, that's really going to save your ass, and especially if you know how to weld like myself. So you're going to need a lot of that. You're gonna have to get ready for the weather. So I would invest in wool. People say, why wool? It's fucking hot. Not necessarily. Wool is an odd creation. You can get that wet. You can jump in a cold creek, get it out, dry it out by the fire, put it right back on, be warm again. It doesn't take forever. Summertime, you can wear wool, sweat your ass off, stay cool. Can't beat that. Let's see what we got here.